Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing fine and are taking care of yourselves. My name is Kanika Tandon and I am here with the video of class 8th English 2nd. In our last video we have completed till the poem vocation, and in today's video we are going to start with our new chapter, that is chapter number 4, March. Starting our today's video with chapter number 4, March. So this chapter is basically a description of the month March by an observer of a nature. Okay, so this writer is actually a very keen observer of nature, and he has actually described the month of March in a very beautiful way. So let us start with this chapter. March is an unpredictable month. One day can be as cold as any in winter, the next as warm as any in spring. It may be dry as a desert one morning, and by sundown as wet as a monsoon night. So in this, the writer is trying to tell us that March is a very unpredictable month. Okay, so this is a very unpredictable month. We cannot predict what kind of a weather it will have. All right, some days it can be as cold as any winter night. Some day it can be as dry and warm as any spring or summer day, or at some times it might also have some kind of rain. Fresh falls of snow in mountains of Kashmir or Himachal bring chilly winds to the capital. Strong winds push clouds up to freezing heights, convert raindrops into ice, toss icelets up over and over again till they are too heavy to bear, and let them descend to it. So here they are saying that fresh falls, because of the weather we can experience some kind of rain, or in the mountains of Kashmir and Himachal, because of the snowfall in Kashmir and Himachal. It is very chilly for us, for the whole capital. So there are strong winds which push the freezing heights and convert the raindrops into snowfall or hailstorm, and then descend them to the earth. Descend means to bring something downwards. Earth as hail. Take a close look at the hailstone, and you will notice that it is it is of a milky white color and consists of layers of ice like skins on an onion. So in this sentence he is actually describing the hailstone. We know what is a hailstone. Yes, in Hindi we call it ole. Right, so they are describing what hailstone looks like. It looks like a milky white color, um, and it looks like an onion, right? I used to wonder why hailstone storms did not occur in winter month when it is cold, but in spring or early summers when it is warm. Now I know it takes strong winds to make the hail. So here the narrator is actually thinking that why does this does not happen in the month of winter, right? In the month of January, February, October, November, December, when there is snowfall, why doesn't this happen that we get to experience the hailstorms? And this happens why? Because for hailstorms we need a very strong wind. I have often put away my woolens by the middle of the month and taken out my summer clothes, only to put back the cottons and once again get out cardigans and warm socks. What they say about May in England can be said of March in India. Never cast a cloud till March be out. So he is saying that sometimes when the day passes in a very uh, what do you call it, when the day passes in a very warm kind of a weather, he puts all the clothes that he wear in winters in the almirah and take out his cotton clothes. But then once again what happens, sometimes it rains or something like this happens, and he has to put all the cotton clothes into his almirah bag and bring out cardigans and sweaters. So he's saying that whatever the people say about the month of May in England, it has to be said the same in March of India. So never cast a cloud till March be out means never throw any kind of cloth away if till the time March is in the March is going on. Next is the sun also continues to behave erratically. Here erratically means it does not follow any regular plan. So it is not necessary that every day sun will come out. It might be rainy also, so sun doesn't come out. It comes up earlier by more minutes, then it goes down in the evening. Alright, so it rises early and sets early. Humans are not the only ones to be fooled by the weather. Insects, said to be endowed with an extra sense of forecasting the weather, suffer heavy losses. So now this narrator is telling that there are not only humans who suffer because of the month of March, there are insects also. They have extra sense of forecasting the weather, and that because of that they suffer a great loss. Mosquitoes, flies, and moths, which come out of hiding to pester humans, suddenly find the weather turn inclement and frozen to death. So what happens basically, when the weather will be like one day it is very warm, and other days it is quite cold. So this happens with mosquitoes also, as they are hibernating them. Mosquitoes, flies, and moths, as they are hibernating, they also feel the warmth. So because of that, they understand that okay, summer is out and we can come out of our holes. But then what happens, out of nowhere the weather is suddenly gets cold, and because of that they suffer some kind of loss. All right. They also see that the weather is not pleasant. They need a very warm, these mosquitoes, flies, and moths, they need a very warm temperature to survive. If it is quite cold in the room, in the atmosphere, they won't survive. Similarly, this you can see if you are sitting in a room and it has mosquito in it, you switch on the AC, and after half an hour there will be no mosquitoes and flies left. Why? Because they cannot survive in a very cold weather. In my diary I record the first time I hear crickets chirp. You know what a cricket is? That it is a insect that make noise at night. Krrr, type of a noise it makes. So this is the next paragraph is actually an experiment that he has done. This is usually in the second week of March, probably somewhat earlier in my apartment than in other homes, as I have a long fire burning every winter night. A cricket's chirp can be reliable substitute for a thermometer. So he is actually saying that with the cricket, with the noise, with the amount of noise he is making, we can easily find out the temperature of a room. You can understand it how. The hotter it is, the faster the cricket chirp. So the as there will be more temperature, the cricket will chirp more, right? So if you do not believe me, try the following experiment. Count the number of chirps per minute, divide the total by 4 and add 40. The total will give you the temperature of the room in Fahrenheit. And if you have the room temperature in Fahrenheit, you can easily convert it into Celsius, so you will know the temperature. Okay, turn to the next page. The vagaries of the weather make Holi, the festival of colors, a chancy affair. Okay, so now he is actually telling us about the um, vagaries of, vagaries means chances that are difficult to predict, some unpredictable chances. So now here we also experience these things now in some of the, at some of the times it is not that hot to play Holi, but we do not think about it that okay, it is not, it is quite cold to play Holi, but we don't understand that we have to play Holi, and we do even if it is hot. But and also sometimes it rains on in the month of March and on Holy Day especially. So here he is telling us about the festival of Holi. The vagaries of the weather means the unpredictable changes of the weather make Holi, the festival of colors, a an a, an uncertain affair. So it happens if it is raining, or if it is quite cold, we try not to play Holi, right? Some of us, not all. I know Holi is your favorite festival, so we try not to play in the cold water. It usually falls sometime between the latter part of February and the end of March. So this is the time when Holi takes place, either in the month of last part of the February or in the starting of March. Some years only the young are out with their tubes, singeries, buckets of colored water, and red powder to fight mock battles, yelling "Holi hai, Holi hai." Other years it is warm enough for the middle aged and the old to risk being doused. So what are they saying? They are saying that sometimes the weather is so cold that people are not playing with the colored water. Sometimes it is seen they are seen with the long tubes and buckets of colored water and red powder to fight mock battles. And other years it is so warm that the old people are also allowed to get wet in the hole in the water. By mid March, the mulberry tree, which we call shehtoot in Hindi, and Morus alba in Latin for the white fruited variety, has both flowers and leaves. For a few days, its caterpillar like fruits are free to all for picking. Bahunias are still in flower, though now with leaves around them. Mango trees are covered with a powdery cluster of blossom. So in this they are actually telling us about the tree, which the name of the tree is mulberry tree, and in Hindi we call it shehtoot. So it has both flowers and leaves. For a few days the caterpillar like fruit are free from picking bahunias and are still in the flower. So they are very free to roam, and bahunias are also in the flower, though now with leaves around them. Mango trees are covered with a powdery cluster of blossom. Mango trees are also covered with the powdery cluster of blossom, which we call in Hindi is boor. Right? You must have heard your parents talking. It is called boor. So this is a quite long chapter, so I'm going to halt it for here for a while. In my next video I'll be completing the whole chapter. I request all of you to please complete your word meanings in your notebooks till this chapter and get your copies checked. I'll see you all in my next video. Till then, keep studying. Thank you.